I apologize for the interruption. A lot of times people uh, don't have much respect when they see another person on the phone, and so you have to contend with that situation. Okay. Um, this is reconvene of the minutes uh, for this official essentials uh, private banking meeting, and we're discussing the purpose of our organization. Hello, how you doing? We're discussing the purpose of our organization. We're discussing the reason our organization was created and founded upon, because we saw and see a need for a public entity to actually provide for the public in a manner that actually helps you, that actually help you. Let's go ahead and, okay, we've shared to the Telegram channel. The broadcast has also been shared to our website, and now it is now available to you on YouTube channel in our community section. Okay, and so we're publicizing this notice to the public. Okay, that's what a publication is. It's a communication with the public, okay, in some type of form, okay. We're designed as a community development entity, okay, community development entity. And what does that mean, community development? You see many organizations that purport to provide some type of assistance to the public. I was sharing my personal experience with the public welfare systems and how they purport to assist the public. But I am making a difference or setting us apart from the entities who purport. What do I mean by purport? Is they're making a claim for federal funds that they are assisting and helping the general public in some type of form or fashion, okay? Whether they're making claims to give financial assistance via food stamps, SNAP card, EBT, whatever they're calling it now, and or medical assistance. The welfare uh, Department of Health and Human Services is purporting to be an option for the general public, that anyone is allowed to apply for these benefits. Okay, they do have a criteria in place to limit uh, the amount of people that they are responsible for helping, okay? Because that's just the way that it's set up. I don't know the reason why they're doing that. I have no clue why they do that. Um, as I was stating in the previous broadcast, um, it's similar to credit card companies, okay? They give you enough to sink yourself, sort of. If you actually qualify for their so-called benefit, and I say so-called because in actual, how are these organizations benefiting the general public? Okay. Uh, if you apply for government benefits, you are then disqualified for getting a credit card. You are then disqualified for if you get a job. They use that against you. Okay. How then is that helping you when their general purpose is to help? Okay. How is that helping you? Okay. How is that improving the quality of your life? Uh, Most people who qualify for benefits don't qualify for anything else. Okay? Most people, I mean, anything else, meaning they don't qualify or they have to remain in the position hi, to qualify for the benefits or they lose the benefits. Can you all agree with that? Um, if you get a job and you're receiving uh, welfare, that automatically disqualifies you. And they will go as far as to bring charges against you for fraud if you do not report that you have found a job and trying to do better for yourself. They will penalize you for that. If you receive benefits, Social Security benefits. They're making claims to allow you to get a job and work. But they will then turn around and disqualify you for your Social Security disabilities because you have then on the record proven that you are not disabled to the extent that you cannot work. Okay? Woo. So, in fact, improving your own quality of life is a disqualifier. Meaning, if you try to do better for yourself, you're then disqualified for these programs. Okay. Why is the system set up like that? Because they receive funds from the federal government, all right? And the basis and the premise of their approval for funding is as such that they, like I said, are purporting to help people from low income populations, demographic, and they are purporting to issue these funds to those people to aid them in their increasing their quality of life, perhaps um, receiving food stamps will help you to be able to afford to feed yourself. Um, the funds that they give you, that's equivalent to cash, helps you in some manner to pay something. It ain't gonna pay no rent nowhere, but it's gonna pay something. I mean, you can buy something with it. You know, you can buy your toiletries. You can uh, get your basic needs met. It's kind of like the indigent package that they give you when if you're incarcerated. All right, it ain't enough for you to be all right with being in jail, but it's enough to give you the basic necessities. You get a toothbrush, you get a little small tube of toothpaste, you get some deodorant, and I'm not even sure what else comes in that little. You get a comb or something like that. But the point is, all of these organizations are purporting to help people. In that regard, that is the reason why I am referring to that alleged help as a guise. And the reason why I am saying they are purporting to do this, okay? Now, people who do not receive public assistance are not aware that these programs are designed this way. People who have not received these type of so-called benefits are not aware that these benefits could possibly improve your quality of life because of the stipulations that they have and the criteria to receive this alleged benefit, okay? And the criteria to receive the alleged benefit is you must remain poor. You must remain indigent and unable to help yourself. Or if you are receiving Social Security's benefits, you must remain non-working in a retiree type of situation. Because in the event that you should acquire a job, you will be penalized for that. Penalized meaning it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll put you in jail for getting a job. It means that they will disqualify you. Okay, you then become disqualified to receive those services. Okay, or what they call public assistance. Okay, now we're talking about a really serious subject here. A lot of people are doing without. A lot of people are forced to conform to these type of alleged public assistance criteria because of the fact that they are being penalized for trying to do better. Okay? If you were to acquire a job, okay, you no longer qualify for their assistance. If you try to do anything to help yourself, you no longer qualify for these so-called community development entities. I was sharing with you all my personal experience with welfare many years ago when I was in a position where I felt I needed the assistance of uh, the Health and Human Services uh, program. I applied for the alleged benefit, and I realized at that time, based upon the strict compliance uh, rules or criteria, I realized that, and I even told the caseworker, I told her, I said, she told me, if you get a job, you got to report it. If you make over this amount, you no longer qualify or we'll reduce your benefit. Uh, and I've seen people who qualify for only $16, $16, $14, whatever it was in the teens. And so basically, if you try to do any better for yourself, they penalize you for that, and they no longer, uh, 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 you no longer qualify for uh, their program. Okay. Now, the purpose of this meeting minutes is not to talk down on the programs that are available. What we are doing is disclosing the need for our services. And we want people to understand uh, why we are implementing our program. We understand what people are going through, what people have experienced with applying for these type of programs. Um, Either they're forced to live in poverty, and it's so funny how these entities will get when they're getting approved for their funding, how they'll say, "Oh, we still need funding because there's a generational uh, perpetuation of poverty in these demographics of people, you know." And in other words, the black people and the Mexicans is poor, and they just generationally are poor. You have the mother that applied for welfare was on welfare for the extent of her children's adolescence all the way up until they no longer qualify. Then you have the mother's children who then have children and apply for benefits and qualify for those benefits. So inevitably, like, there's a generational pattern going on. It wouldn't be to their advantage to disclose the real facts is that these people are disparaged to the point where they feel that If I do any better, I'll be penalized for that. I won't be able to receive the benefits if I try to do any better. They don't disclose that they press charges, all right, against applicants who tried to do better. My mom, who never been to jail, uh, was taken, you know, charged with fraud on the program because she did not, simply because she did not report her income uh, in accordance with their rules that you must uh, disclose that you are working within, I think, 2 weeks of receiving the job. So that allows you to, at least if you're working on a weekly paid income, to have received one check and have a check stub for them to then balance against your account. Okay. In other words, they can uh, calculate that you will be continuously receiving this amount, and so they will use that against you. Uh, and I think my mom was like, just like late, later than what they require. She's an honest person. She wasn't trying to get the benefits and working. But when she did report it, they pressed charges. All right. When she did report it, they pressed charges against her. All right. Now, in that regard, they built the case against an innocent person for trying to help provide for her children, do the best that she could to provide for her children. These disparaging rules is why I made the factual statement that they're purporting to help the community of America, okay? They're purporting that this is what's going on. They're making claims that they're assisting and intentionally omitting the fact that the services that they are providing really don't help anyone. It doesn't help you to qualify to get a place to live. You're not receiving enough income to uh, pay for rents. Okay, so how then could you uh, be receiving any type of benefit to improve your quality of life? If you do not receive enough income to even pay a light bill, gas bill, water bill, and buy all your toiletry items, soap, tissue, deodorants, so forth and so on, the basic necessities to um, pay for your hygienes and things of that nature, how then are they helping you? How? You tell me. Um, and many people are not aware that they can complain or uh, petition the federal government for them to do better uh, with the types of assistance that they are providing. Okay. But I want the general public to know and understand that although that may be a lost cause to even petition the government for these organizations to do better, this is your opportunity to do better. without a penalty, okay? Without being penalized for doing better. This is your opportunity to get in where you fit in. Um, we're building a community development organization to address the economic crisis in America. If you have experienced the disparaging nature of public programs, uh, and you are a witness to the facts that have been stated, then you have an ability to do better without penalty by signing up with our organization. We need you to write out an affidavit that explains what your situation is and uh, express the need for participation in this type of program that will actually help you and not penalize you for doing better. The reason that we need people to uh, formulate their request for assistance in that manner is because we need to be able to get a count of people who need help. We need to be able to get a consensus of the general public that needs help. Um, if you work on a job and you're working minimum wage, you're barely making it, you're providing for yourself, but you don't see a way of doing better uh, because of the limitations of your situation. Perhaps you're working so much just to take care of your general basic needs that you don't have time to attend school, or perhaps you don't qualify to attend some type of class that will propel you to a better position in life, okay, a better career choice. Perhaps you don't have the education background, and what I mean by that, perhaps you can't read or write very well. Perhaps you can read and write, but it's not to the sufficiency of even going to college or any extended occupational training. Perhaps you have acquired what they call a good paying job, and but you can't see yourself past uh, living in an apartment, which is a temporary uh, living status. So you can't see past that to become a homeowner. Perhaps you've tried to apply for the so-called benefits, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac and all of those people, and they have denied you. Oh yeah, these programs that are purporting to help the general public, woo, they're living good. They're living real good. I don't know who the hell Fannie Mae is, but whoever creative Fannie Mae is living good, guaranteed. The corporate entities that create these type of programs have been found to be receiving uh, very high sums in the corporate directors are receiving billions and then making the claims that they can't help the public because they don't have enough funds. Salvation Army. Oh, they give you crumbs. If they give you anything, they give you crumbs. And they are essentially almost functioning like a for-profit business. Their thrift stores are high as hell. It costs more to, or equivalent, to purchase clothes from the Salvation Army or Goodwill than a garage sale or any other retail source that purports to have lower prices because the items are used, okay? And in that regard, uh, it's a injustice to the general public who are thriving, trying to thrive in our economy, you know. It doesn't allow someone that is uh, categorized in a low income group to have options to budget their income and live comfortably in our society. Or it doesn't allow you to do better, okay? I first said it doesn't allow you to live comfortably because if you can't even afford the basic necessities of life and be in comfort, how can you then think past even that position until you've at least reached that point of being comfortable, not having to worry about the basic necessities of life, okay? Mentally and in actual factual situation, you just cannot. You cannot do better for yourself if you are not even in a predicament that you can afford the basic necessities of life. It's actual and factual. Worrying about how you're going to eat, worrying about where you're going to live, worrying about transportation if you were to get a job. Your worries and concerns are legitimate. And there is nothing in your mind that would tell you that you can do better than that if you are not even reaching that threshold of comfort, okay? If you're not even in comfort enough to think, okay, about anything else or give attention or priority to anything else in addition to that or over and beyond that. Real talk. People are engaging in online platforms because they're bored, they feel unaccomplished, and many times are just trying to fill in the blank and the void in their lives. This is why many people indulge in entertainment and other chaotic publications, people fighting. This is why people like those type of videos, okay? Uh, it gives you an adrenaline rush. And for some people, that's satisfactory, okay? That's good enough. Okay, I saw something happen, Oh, it was exciting to see that. Oh, did you see the people fighting? Meanwhile, they broke as hell. Meanwhile, when they get off the phone from watching this type of behavior, they sometimes go out in the public and create their own chaos. If you're indulging in chaos, what else can you produce but chaos? Okay? Let's get down to business. Okay? We talked about all the disparaging aspects of nonprofit entities or government entities that are purporting to give benefit to the general public. When I went to court, even there's so-called programs or pro bono programs that have been funded to help people with legal issues. But when you call them, they claim that they're so bogged down with the people that they're helping that they can't help anyone else. And then at the same time, you hear more people that are saying, I tried to get assistance with them and they turned me down. Well, if they're turning a lot of people down, my question is, who's getting approved? Who's actually getting approved? I really believe they're probably meeting their basic minimum of allocation. In other words, they're approving just enough people to meet the requirement to make a claim that they are a non-profit organization, okay? And they can receive more funds from investors and so forth and so on, from the government and from investors, private investors, that they're showing that we are a nonprofit, established as a nonprofit community development entity, and so you can receive a tax credit from investing in our entity. That is the design of our organization. We are seeking investors who will invest in our organization. Um, it is designed as a nonprofit organization, and in that fact, um, private investors may receive a tax credit for their contributions in our organization. The difference between us and them is that we actually want to help the general public, all right? Investors may know and be reassured that if their philanthropic purpose is to actually help people, uh, they can do so and simultaneously receive a, a tax credit, the benefit of the tax credit. We want our investors to know and understand that if and when they invest, okay, and I'm speaking to uh, experienced private investors who may want to know and understand how our organization works, how we're building it and designing it to benefit the general public, then they can understand how uh, that benefit is translated to them. Okay. They benefit not only from the aspect of investing in an community development. They can benefit from the actual impact that our organization can and will make in the community, because we have every intentions of clocking our success, documenting the impact in real quantifiable efforts. What do I mean by real quantifiable efforts? I'll give you an example. If an applicant to our program is receiving public assistance, okay, and their past experience has been as such that they have not reached any financial level of accomplishment because of the fact that they're being penalized for receiving public benefit. We will work with you to do better, okay? We will work with you to do better. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that actually mean? How are we going to work with you to do better? Well, the key words is work with you. Work with you. Talk to you. Counsel you. Let's discuss it. Let's discuss why you're not doing better. Is that solely based on the disparaging nature of the benefits provided to you. Because some people are not doing better because they have no intentions of doing better, okay? There's a scripture in the Bible that says, the poor you will have with you always. And I think that really relates to the poor in mindset, people who don't have the proper mindset to want to do better or to desire. They don't have a desire to do any better than what they're doing, okay? And they're unmotivated to do any better. Some people have indulged in abuse of different types of drugs, prescription drugs, or alcohol, and drinking too much alcohol. You can't think when your mind is bombarded with mind controlling substances. Okay, how can you think positive thought and cognitive thought process if you are indulging in mind altering drugs? Okay, so we have no intentions of assisting people who are indulging in mind altering drugs as far as abusing those substances. Uh, we have no intentions of investing in persons who cannot realistically demonstrate that they want to do better and they've already taken some action to do better for themselves and cannot demonstrate that the system, as people call it, the system has failed them. Okay? How can they say that the system has failed them in that regard when the system isn't designed to completely provide for you everything that you need? We're not your mama, we're not your daddy, all right? When you were a child, uh, that was the responsibility of your parents, whether they performed their duties to you or not. You need to understand that's not anyone's responsibility but your parents in that regard if you're a minor. This is why we make it very clear that this broadcast is not for minors. Our services are not available to minors of any kind. All right? If if you're not trying to do better for yourself financially, then even if you are of a mature age, you are considered in all sense of the word as a minor. All right, we consider you a minor if you have not uh, made any effort and cannot demonstrate that you are trying to do better for yourself. How would you demonstrate that you're trying to do better for yourself? First of all, you need to sign up. How you gonna get help? You ain't even sign up. You know, uh, sign up. Subscribe to our channel. first of all. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to the channel. Um, I see people all the time uh, in the comment section of other people's broadcasts, live streams, uh, in the comment section on video content. And I noticed that many of the people who comment are just saying random shit, you know, just blurting out random shit, you know, that has nothing to do with the broadcast, first of all. So they're not there to help themselves. They're there, like I said, some people enjoy chaos. They're getting some type of adrenaline rush from going on other people's broadcasts and content and wreaking havoc. You know, they ain't got shit else better to do. People call it, they ain't got shit else better to do. And that's what they're doing, right? Um, we ask that you subscribe to this channel so that you can uh, be a participant of our programs that we will have available on this channel. We ask you to subscribe in your real name, first and foremost. Get a YouTube account with your real name. Stop hiding. Stop hiding behind a fake ass troll snoop account. Okay? On this channel, that cannot help you. In this program, uh, we that disqualifies you from receiving any type of benefits from our community development programs. Uh, it disqualifies you because we can't quantify a fictitious person. We need, or a fictitious entity, okay, or a play account. We want real numbers that we can report. We want real people and real lives that are being impacted by our services. We want to be able to quantify, okay, uh, who are we helping and be able to properly document who's receiving the help, who's engaging in uh, our services that we're providing. We want to truthfully document that. A lot of the organizations are getting you to apply not so that they can actually provide you services, but because they have to have a certain number of people who show interest in that program. And you show your interest completely by your you show interest by your participation in the program. You show your interest by applying for the program, and they leave it at that. They just say, okay, we have 10,000 people who applied or signed up for our program. And so this proves that uh, there are XYZ amount of people who need this. Okay. And we are providing that for them and to them. And for that purpose, they are receiving funds to supply that to you. It doesn't mean that you actually have to get it. They're purporting that it's available, okay, and that's it. It's available. It's it's there, you know, to receive the benefit of it. Of course, they're not reporting uh, all of the people that they disqualify, okay, because those numbers outweigh the population of people that they are actually assisting. Those numbers outweigh uh, uh, the people that are approved substantially to indicate that there's a gap in the provisions that are actually allocated to the public. Uh, I was reading the qualifications of the entities who are structured to provide these type of services, and automatically I notice I pick up bullshit, all right, quickly. Bullshit. And I noticed that the programs are set up in such a way that even if uh, you are an organization that, or you're an individual who founded a nonprofit organization, um, it's set up where the people who have good intentions uh, generally never receive the actual grant, because they require that you have already provided some assistance to the public without their assistance. And you have to demonstrate that you need further assistance or more funding in order to uh, impact a larger population of people. So um, I don't know if you watched the video the other day that uh, we was discussing how welfare started out with just a uh, statewide or whatever program that would give you actual food. All right, you would get basic necessities, uh, butter, cheese, milk, and they have a program still in place like that. It's called the WIC program in Texas. But they started out in that way, and then they demonstrated that they were providing uh, assistance uh, to a large population of people that had need for it. Then they could further qualify for allocation to do more, all right, and to provide uh, more of a benefit to the general public welfare, okay? This is what's going on right here, okay? We are very transparent in letting you know that Yes, you can apply for our programs. Uh, yes, we do have to set a criteria uh, of qualification to receive benefit, um, and that criteria is based upon uh, the factual elements that you are trying to do better for yourself. You have a need that we can assist you with uh, that issue, but you must first show your willingness to participate in order for us to uh, outline what type of benefits we can offer you. Okay? What type of benefits can we offer you? We first need to have uh, a list of people who we can present and say, we have, let's just say, for example, we have 5,000 people in Houston that have applied or meet the criteria to receive benefit through our organization. We have 10,000 people in California. We have, uh, 11,000 people in New Jersey. We have 7,000 people who applied for benefits in Tennessee. Okay. That in itself would demonstrate a need. Once we have produced sufficient documentation that the need exists, we can then uh, present that for approval to receive the funds. Now, in the background, we have set up the program to meet the qualifications to receive the funds. We have no intentions of allocating a majority of those funds to the board members and the directors and all the people who have sufficient um, education and qualifications to get a job of that capacity. Um, we are seeking people to invest in our organization and be named on the board of directors because they have a genuine interest in providing uh, services to the public that will benefit the general public. And so our organization is designed in such a manner that caps the compensation for people who um, are licensed to, um, say, for example, we would love to have some lawyers who participate in the capacity of serving on our board. We are seeking um, people in the medical industry, most specifically psychology, because they will be able to contribute to the organization in a manner of professional testament of the fact that I explained earlier, that if and when people are disparaged by the government programs that are available, what type of psychological uh, impact does that have on a person' uh, motivation to do better for themselves or contribute to their own success? Years ago, when I created the record label, I was living in a homeless shelter, and thankfully, I had moved in with my sister. I came to Jersey to promote my music career. Things didn't go well. I wound up without a home in Jersey. My family members had already ousted me because I didn't follow their religious beliefs. And so I just felt uh, like an outsider, not being familiar with uh, New Jersey and how uh, the community people operate and so forth and so on. I felt like an outsider. I applied for benefits to be able to get into uh, their shelter. And when I did do that, I was living at the shelter, but they had a requirement that you live at the shelter for a year or more. If they allowed you to, you had to follow their rules. You had to leave every day at a certain time, and that was purpose for you to get out and do something productive for yourself. Their motto was a hand up, not a help out. I mean, not a handout, but a hand up. You know, in other words, they're not just giving you anything. Um, they want you to be productive. They want you to do something to help yourself. And I love that concept. Okay. Uh, I could appreciate that concept, although I had to deal with some elements of the program that was what I consider unfair. That portion I took wholeheartedly into consideration, that they had to have some rules and stipulations to keep people from abusing the program. Uh, and I had no intentions of abusing the program, so I was had no problems with conforming. Okay, I utilized the programs that was available to me. Um, while I was there, I got a professional recording of two of my songs. Um, while I was there, I saved my money that I was receiving, and I I would go out every day uh, as we were required to. We were required to leave, but there was, of course, they can't require that you do something to help yourself. I took it upon myself as an adult, as a mature adult, to set goals for myself. And so I said to myself, I said, what do I really want to do? I really want to pursue my music career. I had gotten offers from labels that were unreasonable, and I felt like the only way that I could uh, create a platform, that I could do better for myself is to create my own record label and self-distribute. They call it an independent artist, all right? But I wasn't so selfish to just do all of that for myself. I thought about all the other artists and uh, people with creative faculties that are being disparaged by the lack of an organization that would help them to reach some level of success in their creative endeavors. And that's how I came up with the ideas and the structure for Real Raw Records. Um, you're welcome to do some research on that. Um, Real Raw Records is the first nonprofit record label in the history of the music industry, as well as the nonprofit sector. As I stated before, a lot of people claim to be nonprofit, but they are not. Okay, they they make money, and nonprofits are allowed to make money. But what I mean by they are not is that they do not provide um, assistance to the general public uh, that will inevitably help you. Many of the organizations are for profit, and they lend a uh, a portion of their business to charitable purpose to qualify as uh, a community development entity. When I was reading and learning the criteria to be designed as a community development entity, I noticed that they have certain percentages that the organization must uh, demonstrate that they're providing uh, a certain amount of public services that would qualify as a benefit to the public. They could purport that they're giving you education on a topic or whatever economic proportion. Uh, they can uh, make claims that they provide programs that allow the general public to apply for benefits in one way or another. And as long as the structural uh, facts, it's very important to understand that you can't prove that they're not helping anyone because if you don't have any documentation of complaints about them not helping anyone, then they can continue to purport that they're helping. Okay? I see so many times in the sovereign community people who are seeking to be sovereign or free from the uh, tyranny of our societal norms. Many times people are just angry and without cause. What I mean angry and without cause is that Sometimes people have expectations of the government that's not realistic. As I stated before, if you're not helping yourself, how then can you lay blame on someone else for not helping you? Okay. So I said all that to say this. If you really want and need help, subscribe. Subscribe and get the help that you need here. Um, when we have the um, broadcast situated where people can come in and uh, provide some input, participate. Some people don't want to get on the live and uh, broadcast to the world uh, that they're having a hard time or that they are poor and can't help themselves. People don't want to get on the live and tell everyone that is, of course, listening to the broadcast that uh, they are poor and in need of help. So that is not at all what I am suggesting. What I am suggesting is that you participate enough to uh, document your need, okay? Document that if in fact our programs were funded, that program would help you. Can you do that? At least let us know you need help. It has been a difficult course to just get people to admit that, okay? It has been a difficult course for us to get people to comment uh, appropriately. And what I mean by comment appropriately is uh, you would need to leave comments on the video content that would solidify that you are a real person and uh, you are a potential client that uh, is in need of the services and that you would like to apply for services to be allocated funding um, to assist you in one way or another, okay? Also, we will be set up in a manner that you will have to submit a uh, investment, your investment in your own future. That amount is $10. We're setting up the account and everything that involves that account for you to uh, invest in your own future. If $10 is too much money for you to participate, uh, then uh, I would say it would be safe to say that uh, you don't qualify to receive help because of your unwillingness to contribute to your own success. You will need to pay $10 tithe into the organization to qualify. Okay. And when you hear about scams and stuff like that, many times scams are set up where you have to pay large sums of money. People who are scamming people in the sovereign citizen community, their classes and programs and what the hell? Their classes cost you $50, $100, $200, $300, just for you to find out what the hell they know. If you're willing to pay for a scam or for in hopes that you may get remedy or in hopes that you can be given some type of information to access some type of secret fund or some shit like that. You willing to do that, then you don't qualify. We're seeking people who are realistic. Each person will have to contribute $10. 10, a minimum of $10. A bare minimum of $10. If you go to a court and you file a case, it would cost you in some states anywhere from 300 and something to 400 and something dollars to present that case to the court. Okay. Uh, for evictions, that's something you would have to already be a landlord or whatever. So, small claims court is the cost to submit an application or submit a claim uh, is less than that. And they do offer uh, a option for people who don't even have that. Okay, so they qualify as a community development entity in that regard. Some services they're providing for you free notary for certain types of documents. Uh, they're providing for you, they'll give you in a little packet uh, a pre-designed forms uh, that they give to you, and you didn't pay for printing out the forms and this and that. So that's free to you, but it's at a cost to them, but it's free to you. So they qualify, court systems qualify as a community development entity for that reason. So very similarly situated. Uh, certain services that we will be providing will cost you, but uh, we are seeking people who are willing not only just to participate in receiving the community benefit, but we are seeking people who are also willing to invest in the future of that benefit. Uh, have a simultaneous interest in investing in the future of that entity. Um, in the future of the program and the availability. In other words, after you have gotten the benefit out of the program that you need, you know, why wouldn't you want to contribute to the continual success of the program? Why wouldn't you want to uh, endorse the benefit of the program? Why wouldn't you want to uh, help to get the word out that this entity is really helping people? It helped me in this way or that way, and I was able to get assistance or gain knowledge that helped me, and uh, I would like to give back into uh, the program to help and assist others. I may not be able, you yourself may not be able to help any one particular uh, individual in your personal capacity, but the willingness to contribute to that to some degree uh, to us says that um, you deserve the assistance you receive. Okay? So, this broadcast has gone on for about an hour or so, and we don't want to bore you or overload you with information. And so, we're going to leave you with that to contemplate. Thank you for joining us.